All of my hardware and ammunition is custom-made by my ingenue of rude repute, Leto Mentragonius. Designated the Commando at 16 inches, the Foog 1 fires a standard 9mm cartridge and is used in close-quarter, rapid-fire combat. The holster also packs additional magazines, silencer, and the SISM ballistic grapple. All accessories are contained in the Foog holster, along with the gun itself. The Foog 2 is styled for clandestine combat. Its bullpup design is carried out in a lightweight synthetic material, as with the gun's magazines. Designated the special purpose weapon at 9 inches, the Foog 2 can fire an array of projectiles. For example, the 44mm crawler drone grenade or the 32mm armor-piercing incendiary dart. The total explosive potential, including every round of ammo, every grenade and artillery shell I have ever fired, must be at least 1,400 tons. For a while I was trying to see how much ordnance I could expend on a given job, just to drive up the total to some target number of energy released. Then I realized I was getting distracted. All of my gear is defined by necessity, utility, survival. I pack at minimum 1 pair of thermal vision infrared binoculars, 1 pair night vision contacts, extra Foog magazines, cartridges plus grenades, and several pair of wrist cuffs, finger cuffs, ankle cuffs, elbow cuffs, knee cuffs, and toe cuffs. Each pack comes armed for chemical immolation, either manually or automatically triggered, making self-annihilation in event of kill or capture a snap. Chastity is a most chimeric vice. One of my favorite exercises in applied irony was when that Gildemir character at last discovered that the key to my own heart of hearts was not to the exclusion of most others, but only to that of some. People just refuse to get it at all. For all of my professional investment as a black operative in matters clandestine or confidential, I am absolutely a social animal. This toy, though, is really one of my favorites. It delivers a variable charge, from barely detectable to quite a decent jolt. Output is strobed, adjustable on the fly. Some interrogatories may end up bearing some really interesting, trauma. I refuse to let it discourage me, though. Really. The Altrata's exclusive design is by my own personal service technician, Hank the Tank Winky Poo. Our services are traded in kind, and we both learn a lot. The Altrata is equipped for stealth, speed, and the ever-important surprise factor. Twin street sweeper machine guns, aft dispersed, anti-traction lubricant, manually engaged retractable tire studs. The autopilot control is for unique ops like the C-section synchronized maneuver. The corresponding sub-level railcar supports a retractable flue, which penetrates a breach through a long row of interlaced flexible slats embedded in the street. While the paired vehicles are in motion, margin of error is plus or minus 1.6 seconds, operating outside of which will result in full transversal bisection. I'll be careful. Here are some of the things people have tried to kill me with. I can't understand how they come up with these ideas. Look at this one. What do we have here for some grandiose monument to the triumph of human imagination? Or this contraption? Sometimes I think that the real idea is to give all of their gear some sort of elaborate workout, at my own expense. What the hell? I must admit that the blast cannon was something of a surprise, but that's fine. The border of Brenia runs like the plane one would draw through a complicated maze in 3 dimensions. In fact, the total area used by border and border-related apparatus is 68.4% of the entire territory, all for containment command control, or detection, deterrence, and defense, or disrecognized space delimitation. All of that bureauligarchianese. Thanks to the discouragement effect of survivors, the turrets are being retired. Rather than blast to pieces any would-be Breen deserters like poor Sybil or, they're upgrading their border enforcement with automated snares, which absolutely ghastly. As if anything, a hand, an elbow that crosses outside the Breen perimeter ought to be surgically excised. Really, you only wonder what they'll think of next. I'll never really know, of course, what happened between my own original self and Goodchild, but I am painfully aware of how it can only have altered her, and of how irreversibly. What the hell did he do? Fix my brain? Affect me? Her, I mean? How could she let him? She could have killed me right then and there, but she had to know what I'd do, as did I. You know how you would want him, tough and intrepid, cruel as dry ice, because you don't expect that. You imagine that your politicians are, by their nature, other than advertised. You've got every mean bootlicker pretending to identify with number 1. If I were him, I'd stick around for more of the action. I have never seen anyone with such a repertoire of outs. That ridiculous balloon thing of his? Nifty, huh? Compared to his rescue tentacle, that is. What a monstrosity. How much real estate does that dratted thing eat up upon any given deployment? What about their whole perfect world ideal? Their bureauligarchian big time? Like that tank thing of his. What forward-planning scenario or utilitarian imperative do we believe to have there, What distinguished panel of experts do you have coming up with any of these design solutions here? Drop a bomb on all of it then already, or will you? You know, it only really goes to show how in politics, responsibility is this total shell game. He hid his own agenda behind the precedent of a prior figurehead of state, literally. Talk about operating the machine within the hideous bowels of a body politic, of working your inside job. It just kills me, some of these resorts of Trevor's sometimes. He may believe that he's doing it for something else, for something that isn't even personal. On the subject of special body modifications, Scaphandra just takes the show. I have to wonder how many times she'd been in that operating chair of that particular lab of Trevor's, because whatever I was given to witness of all of her special capabilities, it wasn't the half of it.